Hi, my name is Dr. Liss. I'm an associate vet at Good Heart Animal Health Center.
What are the signs that a dog might be getting too much exercise?
Signs a dog's getting too much exercise may include things like excessive panting, excessive stops on a walk or a ride, or just seeming very tired and slow, drooping their head, essentially like they can't keep up with what's going on.
How does a dog's breed, age, and health condition influence their exercise needs and limits?
Sure, as far as breeds go, one big thing I think about is our brachycephalic or our smush face breeds. Already without heat and exercise, they have much more trouble breathing, getting the air they need, which can definitely be exacerbated as they're working a bit harder. As far as age, a big group I think of is our senior pets. Certainly similar things where if we are dealing with things like, other concurrent diseases, we can see some issues or even arthritis. It can be a lot of stress on their joints that may catch up with them right afterwards or a bit later.
What are some potential health risks of overexercising a dog? Or puppies too. I've heard it's bad for their joints.
Sure. Health risks, one big thing I think about are either cardiovascular or respiratory risks, particularly patients with pre-existing conditions, especially as we're exercising and especially as it's hot out, everything's working a bit harder, and so we can certainly exacerbate heart conditions, respiratory conditions. As far as younger patients like puppies, we do want to consider what types of exercise we're doing and the duration of that as well. Especially as their growth plates are open and they're still growing, we want to make sure we're not putting too much strain on their bones and their joints. I normally recommend limiting to a reasonable amount of time or length, generally not more than a mile or a couple miles depending on the age and the breed, and trying to keep things a bit more low intensity, so flatter walks around the block and whatnot, as opposed to really steep hikes that they may not be able to handle quite yet.
Can overexercise be mistaken for other health issues in dogs?
Certainly. So going back to pre-existing conditions, especially with heart disease, for instance, we can see things like panting, seeming very tired, even collapsing, which exercise can play a role in, but can be primarily due to that heart disease itself. In a similar vein, for respiratory concerns, for instance, a common one we see is tracheal collapse. Common in much smaller dogs where we can see similar signs. They may be just fine 1 minute running around and then all of a sudden be extremely lethargic, coughing, or even collapsing and becoming more of an emergency.
Does the summer heat affect the way we want to exercise our dogs?
I think in a few ways, yeah. So, first off, it encourages us to get out and be a bit more active. And so we certainly just see higher numbers of dogs out and getting exercise when they may not be getting that amount for the rest of the year. And the heat itself just makes everything work a little harder. The heart's pumping a little faster, the lungs are breathing a little faster, and so it really can exacerbate anything going on.